10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, this is Bishop Josh Bracey from Josh Bracey and Power Anointed. Listen, I want to encourage you to make sure that you attend the Gospel Songwriters Conference in 2025. You know why? Because we're going to do a live recording and I'm going to be producing it. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I'm talking about hits after hits after hits. Listen, go ahead and put it in your calendar for next year. We will be receiving all songs, and of course, Miss Natalie will be getting it with everybody as regards to that. But listen, I just want to say congratulations again on you guys attending the Gospel Songwriters Conference 2024. But next year is on and popping, and I want to see you there. All right, God bless. Bye bye.
Forevermore.
Welcome to Readings with Evangelist Linda Coleman. Let's allow her to take us on a spiritual journey with these amazing books that she has found. So take a deep breath, grab a healthy snack, and let's relax and listen in.
Hello. So glad you guys are with me again, Evangelist. So glad to are reading from my friend Pause. Who knows what's going on? Reading from my friend Joycelyn Turner's book, Room 2271. And I tell you, it's been very interesting so far. And if you're not up with me, on what chapter I'm on, chapter 4 now, could just go back and check out the other chapters and you'll find out exactly what's going on. But I always try to read her little introduction before I get into where we are, so you can be aware of who she is and what she would like for you to get from her book. In her introduction, she says, this book is dedicated to my daughters, my sons, and every individual who believes they are alone in a relationship. By far, this is not a step-by-step antidote of escape or a quick fix guide. It reveals the pain of my trials, the pain of my tribulations, the mountains I had to climb, and the battles I fought. But I endured it. As you read, I fought hard to keep my family together. I failed as a wife, a mother, a daughter, sister, and a friend. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to leave my husband, but I stayed. I guess I thought I was a savior. Well, his savior anyway. I thought that if I left him, he would be lost. When actuality, if I left him, I would actually be free and could do great things and soar like an eagle. Take it from me. Now I know he would have survived it all as well. This is my prayer for you. Find the courage to be enough within yourself. Find the courage to be enough within yourself to leave a toxic relationship. Love yourself more than anyone else. Celebrate you. Love you. Love all of who God created you to be. And Sister Joycelyn, that's exactly what we're going to try our best to do. We already read about the beginning, the drinking and the home invasion, and picking up just at the end of the home invasion. And then we're going to move right into afraid to be free. She said, I tried to love this man beyond all of what he had been through and all his past issues. I did not want to repeat the same behavior that came before me from other women. I wanted to be different. I was so different, he took me for granted. Watch out now, ladies. I did not hound him, harass him, or beg him to do anything he did not want to do. I was too passive, and that was not good at all. What I started doing was praying in my secret closet for God to change him. Can somebody say wrong prayer? Wrong prayer, my sister. I said earlier I was starting to let go of God's hands, but I'm not crazy. I never let go of God's hand. I was starting to, but I never let go. It may look like it right now. My love for Dwayne kept me trying to save him continuously. I didn't want to have a broken family. Here we are, chapter 4, Afraid to Be Free. When I read this, I went like, you know what? I think this does apply to many of us, male and female. When we're in a relationship, we want to try our best to make it work. We put up with so much. We want so much for it to be what we hoped it to be when we first met the person and when you first started dating them and they started showing you their love and everything, or at least you thought it was love, and we just don't want to let it go. We keep holding on to it and said, maybe, just maybe this is going to work out. So we kind of sometimes be afraid to be free. I don't want to be free. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be lonely and all that kind of stuff. But baby, sometimes you have to let go and let God. Here she go. Chapter 4, Afraid to Be Free. She said, our baby was getting older and I found myself and my family living with my mother in a 1-bedroom apartment. My sister and the kids were there too. Can someone say pickle jar? Tight, maybe. Tight, tight, tight. So it was me, Dwayne, my mother, my sister, her 3 children, and my 3 children. Oh, yeah. And guess what? She's pregnant too, because she's pregnant as well. I was telling you what God loves, and that is the truth. I'm telling you, I'm pregnant and homeless at this time, but I did not stay at my mom's house long. I had gotten a job at a place where I was able to use my skills as a PC tech. I briefly studied with an IT instructor who started her own PC tech school. It did pay off. Go on, girl. I'm proud of you. Go for it. It was the first time in a while that I could see my life moving in a better direction. I was working as a PC tech. This was the start of my career in the informational technology field. I met some wonderful friends at my job. We are still friends to this day. I got the job while I was pregnant. I was not showing, so nobody knew until I started bringing 3 lunches to work and was asked by a coworker why I was eating so much. I could pack 3 lunches. I could pack 3 lunches to work and eat them all in one setting. She figured it out. I gained 80 pounds with this pregnancy. Don't get it twisted though. I was getting my steps in. I still did not have a car, so I had to ride the bus to work and walk a half mile the rest of the way. One of my co-workers would often see me walking and offer me a ride to work. He was of the opposite sex. So I would tell Dwayne how kind the guy was to give me a ride to work. I was thinking he would be excited if someone helped your children's mom to work so you didn't have to worry about something happening to me while walking to work. Well, I got a totally opposite reaction than I expected. This is Dwayne we're talking about, everybody. I insinuated must be sleeping with him. What? He insinuated I must be sleeping with him. He would ask, oh, what you and this Negro got going on? I had a Kevin Hart reaction. Whoa, really? All right. Okay. This cracked me up when I saw Kevin Hart say this the first time because I had a family member who would say it the exact same way. I tried to find humor in everything. I used to love to laugh. Well, this was the first time I saw him having a problem or insecurity with me being around, conversing with the opposite sex. Controlling, maybe? Huh? Think about it. I'm not a box type of chick, so you can have friends, but I can't. Things that make you go, yes. I never gave him any reason to doubt me, be insecure, or have questions about me being faithful to him. However, he did on several occasions. He was in a rage about the ride I received. Really? Now he would never know how I get to work because I would not open my mouth ever again about how I get to work. I'm shutting down. None of his business. He just gonna have to see me, all right? I did not want to cause confusion, so I shut my mouth. I had been with him for a while, so that street mentality was rubbing off on me. He taught me a lot, good and bad. I was about to have our second child. This one was set to be born at Northwest Memorial on Cali Street in Houston, Texas. I was big and trying to be pregnant. I used an old remedy I had heard about. I started drinking castor oil. I drank the entire bottle in hopes of speeding up the labor. I started taking it on Valentine's Day. Well, you guys, y'all need to work. No, it worked well. Those labor pains, though, was no joke. The home remedy worked so well that I had to go to the hospital because the contractions was coming so close together. I get to the hospital and the staff quickly prepares me for labor and delivery. I decided I did not want the epidural again for the third time. I was having this baby naturally. Those labor pains were so intense to where I was holding to the bed rail and I would shake violently until the pain subsided. Dwayne is there with me, but the same scenario. Y'all know what? He needs to go get a smoke. You did it the last time, right? I was not so mad this time, though. I decided to give her his last name. She was born on February the 14th, 2000. We wanted a son to carry the Legron name, but this is my last birthing rodeo. If he don't have a son now, he not getting it through my girl. That's what she's saying. No epidural for the last 3 births, and she is done. I wanted her to be born on Valentine's Day, but God said differently. She had a birthmark shaped like a heart on her back, just to let me know she is a Valentine baby and that she was loved. With all my skill and experience, I could do more and earn more. So I accepted a position at Herman Memorial Hospital. I did not get this job on my own merits. I knew some people that worked there, and they assisted me in getting a job there. This job was far from home, which I did not like, really. Well, she said, which I did not like. Okay, whoa, hold on. She gets the job because she thinks she's better skilled at a hospital that's not close to her home, it's further away. And now she says she don't like it. And I was still breastfeeding my baby. Oh, come on, girlfriend, what you thinking? What you thinking about? Okay. I had to be away from my desk for long periods of time to pump breast milk. This did not sit well with my manager. This baby was different. I wanted to do things differently with her. I had never passed the 2-month mark on breastfeeding with any of my children. I breastfed her for 4 months. I remember the ride to Mississippi was not pleasant at all. I had just stopped breastfeeding her and she could not take the bottle at all. She cried the entire ride down there and back. Remember, it was time for Dwayne family reunion. We read that in chapter 3. So that's what she's talking about. The job did not last long. Don't sound like she really needed that one anyway, right? The manager was so different. Your words had to be in military style, and she was strict. She did not use the proper dialogue. I did not use the proper dialogue when communicating with a caller, and I was fired. I was hurt and relieved all at the same. I was out of a job. I quickly started looking for another job, and it did not take me long to find one. I got an assignment with the Bank of America downtown. I worked there for a while, then started working for Eagle Global Logistics. They were they were later bought out by a British company, and the name was changed to CEVA, SEVA. I was making good money there. I was never without a job for long periods of time. The girl was always on a mission. That means God was always making a way for her, even when she wasn't aware of it. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. Well, we moved some apartments in the same area, the street over from the rat infested area. These were a little better. Same behavior from him, but he upscaled a bit. Now he was calling me out of my name in front of people. I was a retarded blank bit, or yeah, AB, a retarded AB. One time and other times just a retarded MF. Oh boy, he's just getting ridiculous, huh? Just calling you all out of your name. He had gotten a van, we had gotten a van, and one time in particular, my mind was going in circles. I locked my baby in the car for about 5 minutes. It seemed like an eternity. She was content. The AC was on. She was kicking and playing while Mama was running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I was so relieved when I finally got her out. I know you was, girl. The verbal abuse, she said, it was bad too. My mouth was starting to get as fly as his was, and I was tired of the disrespect. Whenever I was being called anything other than Joy, his mama was too. I just threw it right back at him. He dished it out, and I was ready with my gloves on like Mike Tyson in that boxing ring, or Serena Williams on the tennis court, or Wendy Williams with a slapback. Yes, I would come out swinging. With me talking about his mom, that did not sit well with him. He didn't like it. He didn't mind dishing it out, but he sure didn't like it coming back at him. Please don't get me. Just what I used to push his. This is just what I used to push his buttons and get him to maybe stop the verbal head. Well, you have to be sitting down for this one. My older daughter called her aunt and uncle with some awful news. She told them Dwayne had been molesting her. I wanted to kill him. How could I kill the youngest children's father? What do you say? What do you do? I cried and cried and cried and cried. The information got to my dad, my oldest daughter's grandfather. Everyone knew. Her grandmother and grandfather asked if they could raise her, but I refused. I wanted all of my children with me. I could have reconsidered that invitation. Should have, maybe. I left my home right away and went straight to my older sister's house. I had to call CPS before anyone else did. Keep with me, stay with me here, y'all. It's really important. Stay with me. Back then, I thought my sister was like a bandit. She a band-aid. She could fix it all. This time she only made things worse. I wanted to tell his parents about that. I told her, my older sister, with me, and I took my older sister with me when I told them. Well, his mother did not hear. This struck me as like really strange. They did not ask us to get out of the house, and it was if they had heard this before. They never once said that it was a lie or your daughter is a liar. Nothing, not nothing. It was a strange meeting. Quiet a few times. I was very sorry I went there to tell them that hurtful information. I kept drilling my daughter. I asked as many questions as I could stomach. I had to make an appointment to see the social worker. I drilled him and asked him the same questions more than 100 times. Did you ever molest, touch, or do anything that was inappropriate with my daughter? His answer was always the same. I never touched her. I was thinking that all those times he was supposed to be checking on the younger kids, he was molesting my daughter. How on God's green I neglected my children too? I was hookwinked, blind, and sucker punched. I had bought a wooden nickel. I had no excuse for myself. Working overnight, trying to make sure nothing gets cut off. I was trying to keep my make believe family together. Well, we visited the CPS penetrated. We were just about to go and do the pap smear exam, and she said she made it. What? She said she made it up. I was relieved. She said she made it up. So I knew it was deeper than that. My kids were suffering as well. He could not only steal my things, but all of their too. It must have been for them to be living in a home with a person that does drugs and having to watch me go through all of the turmoil. I did notice my oldest daughter's behavior change. I just thought she was growing up. I was so wrapped up in work and other things, my children suffered. The older two of my children were kind of distant from me. I was a provider. If they needed something, they got it. I was not showing them love that a mother is supposed to give to her children. He called me several times throughout the day, all day long. Every day he would call. This went on for a week. I had to tell CPS caseworker about the information I received. They dropped the case because she said it never happened. They were about to take all of the children from me. I loved all of my children and I would die without them. Everyone thought I was crazy because I took him back and we were all back under the same roof again. I felt like I was being judged by the entire world. I was. Nobody was talking to me. I didn't care. I was grown and with children. I had a man and they didn't. They were all just judging. This is what was being fed into my spirit. Remember, I cut off. I was not going to church anymore. So can you imagine who was feeding all this junk in my spirit? Can you imagine? Do you know who was talking? Drugs use, the drinking and drug use continued, and time went on. I was still trying to hold everything together by myself. One day I just got fed up. I stopped paying bills. This time I was trying to get a rise out of him, and I seemed to face him at all. This time I intentionally put us in a situation where we were homeless so he would maybe have the urgency to go and get a job and take care of his family. Well, guess what? This did not happen like I planned. Come on now. This was the strangest. to take care of my baby. Had to, that was not. I had a job going into. I was actually trying to scare him, but they're not afraid of the dog. They're not afraid by using drugs that would kill you. Scared? No. I had to keep reminding myself that while he lived, while he water at some point, and you both were using and selling drugs. Working was not in his. We're admitted to the program for the homeless family. We had to go from one church to another church because they sponsored families for a week at a time. You had to have a car. And we did not have a car again. So he made friends with a couple that did cocaine, and they allowed us to borrow their car. I told y'all he would get anything. He could get anything from anybody. All of the churches fed us well. What I mean by well is the fact that they were all overweight when we left the program. We were all overweight, and most church programs do feed you well. Got some good cooks in the church. While we were there, we met several families. We kept in touch with one Hispanic family. Our daughter and their daughters were the same age. They invited us to their family function and vice versa. I always worked, so I had my money saved and I was ready to move out on my own. We secured a small apartment, but it was home. He still was a hit or miss on working scene, if at all. I don't know why she keep hanging out with him. I had been working at my job about 6 months and I got promoted to customer care agent. I had the authority to ship customers memory sticks, computer parts, and I verified if their computer was still under warranty. The devil, my co-worker, and I found a slick way to send products to our own addresses. Here we go. Can somebody say prison time? I understand, girl, where you at? I sent myself all the products to build myself a computer. Yep, she was, and I was too. I knew this was wrong. I did not pay it any attention. I built that PC piece by stolen piece. I worked and it worked like a charm too. That same co-worker that gave me rides to work schooled me on how it worked. One day he said the police contacted him about some stolen equipment. He either asked me to vouch for him or said he had nothing to do with it. I can't remember what happened or how I responded. All I know is I did not answer my phone for 2 or 3 days, or maybe even a week, until I was comfortable that the heat was off of me. The thought of going to prison made me sick to my stomach. I didn't even wear orange or black or white stripes. The thought of not being able to see my children was unbearable. Can I tell you something though? When I think about all the things God has covered, blocked me from, shielded me from, seen and unseen danger, I can't help but be grateful. And I know where you're at, Sister Joyce. Me too. When I think about the things I've done in my past, where I could have been in jail or dead or in the hospital or walking around crazy and on all kinds of meds. Woo, hallelujah. Yes, I understand being grateful, darling. It pains me to even write it all, but by the end of this book, I'm hopeful that I have helped someone. It is only by God's grace and mercy that I'm able to share my story. Well, we had an argument and he took a hammer and destroyed the PC. I built piece by stolen piece. I tried everything to get him to change his behavior. I had never done this, but I called his mom and I asked if she would talk to him. Maybe she could reason with him and calm him down. Maybe she could talk some sense into him with his wrongdoing. Well, that didn't go well for me at all. I got her on the phone and basically she told me in so many words, it's your problem now. He your husband, girl. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I can understand that now, but back then it was a different story. He was so angry then, I nicknamed him Angry Man. I even hinted for him to see someone in anger management. Maybe a few anger management classes would help him to see why he is so full of anger. I was still willing to love him past all of that anger. Don't get me wrong, I was lashing back at him too sometimes. Can somebody say quickening? I would have to catch myself and be reminded by the Holy Spirit that two wrongs would never make a right. I wanted him to see what has never seen in a woman, that is true love. Even though I was not receiving it back, I wanted him to see it. Well, we did not stay at that place long at all. We moved right around the corner in the back. All the places where we lived were within minutes of each other. We were starting to do a little better. I still was the only one working. He kept the kids while I worked, and it worked out. It really worked out for him because he was able to do whatever he wanted. I noticed that my children were acting a little weird or sometimes trying to tell me something. Their body language was different. Well, we got to keep on reading, she says. My babies look at me sort of funny. I had a feeling they wanted to tell me something. I finally asked the older one what they do while I'm at work. She must have been about two and a half. She said she was at Natalie's house. She went on to say her dad is not there with them, and it was just her with them by themselves. So you mean to tell me she has been keeping my children while I'm working hard at work? I wanted to spit fire. I don't even know this lady. She is your friend, not mine. We must have fought all night. How dare you let this woman I don't know anything about interact with, keep, or touch my children? This is the type of stuff that only happens in the movies. No way, y'all. This was my life. She had been keeping them all the while. She goes and does whatever in her car. He goes and does whatever he want in her car. He was slick. He could get whatever he wanted out of anybody. Remember her telling us that? Oh yeah, girl. Not everybody, but the majority of the people he came in contact with, he conveniently did not work. Well, this working lifestyle did not suit him. Working made no sense when he had me paying all the bills, and Blue Ash and Natalie helped too. Why would anyone work if they got all these women taking care of them? Well, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how broke you are, keep a safe haven fund tucked away where only you and God knows where it is. Save your money just in case you need to uproot yourself at any given moment. When you find the strength and courage to leave, my issue was fear. I was afraid of fear. That's what, does that make any sense? I had a fear of being free. I was afraid of starting over. I knew that was not the plan God had for me. I continued to ask God for signs. I did not want to cram to drop on the top of my head, the crane to drop on top of my head, though. I had all the signs I needed. I just kept ignoring them continuously. I had not had many serious relationships, and this is the first time I had ever experienced this type of disrespect. And on this level, I continue to accept it. I'm afraid to be free. Let me go back just this last paragraph. This working lifestyle did not suit him. Working made no sense when he had me paying all the bills and Blue Ash and Natalie helped too. Think about your situation right now. Are you in something like this? Why would anyone work? She says. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how broke you are, listen to this, y'all. Keep a safe haven fund tucked away where only you and God knows where it is. Put some money on the side in your secret closet. Save your money just in case you need to uproot yourself at any given moment. When you find the strength and courage to leave. My issue was fear. I was afraid of fear. It does really make any sense that I would be afraid to be alone? Well, I was afraid. I had a fear of being free. I was fearful of starting over. I knew that was not the plan God had for me. I continued to ask God for signs. I did not want a crane to drop on the top of my head, though. I had all the signs I needed. I just kept ignoring them continuously. I had not had many serious relationships, and this is the first time I ever experienced this type of disrespect. And on this level, I continued to accept it. Listen, keep tuning in to Goodreads with Evangelist Linda Coleman. We're going to pick up chapter 5, Married to the Streets. Don't miss it. Sister Turner, you are doing a fabulous job of sharing your life experiences with us. And we're so glad that you're reminding us that we have power in us, that we don't have to settle for anything. We can do better. And when God gives us signs, we need to be alert to them. When we ask him for something, we need to start looking for it as soon as you finish asking, right? That's how it works, you guys. So until the next time, remember, I love you, and I thank you so much for tuning in with me. We've got some more great authors coming. So listen, keep your ears open to DLM Meet Reads with Evangelist Linda Coleman, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. And as I always say, I don't care what's going on, what you're going through, or what he throw at you. You got to speak it in the air. Don't be scared. Don't say, all is well. Say big, bad, and bold that all is well. Bye-bye, everybody.
Wow, I do hope you enjoyed today's readings. But until next time, I want you to focus and remember God is still in control. Be blessed. Have a great day.
Of the Lord. Be the name of the Lord. From this time forth.